All right, it's record now. So once again, under week 1 pages, week 1 lectures page, day 2, you scroll down until you see the reference image. Right click, save link as, and then just put it into your drive. Now, these two images, you're going to save as again, but these two also including inside reference, but I just want to isolate these two because this is going to be the one that we're using. So let's take a look at the download. Right here, you just right click and then extract all, or you can do extract to the file name. Here we go. So that you organize it a little bit. So this is the image, and I'm going to go to extra large image so that you can see what are these. Okay. So now today we're going to start to build the cap. So this is the cap that see close up, and there we go. Hey, how come I cannot scroll down? My bad. Here we go. So I need to be able to see. Okay, and these two, this image, the image that I cut, splitting for you, so that easy to use. And now, when I double click on this, we're going to have to build all of this detail. Here we go. And these are a single object except for that part. That part will be a separate. So today we're going to talk about concept of combining, rearrange, edge loop, and so on. So I'm going to move this aside. So that's the shape we're going to build. Okay, at the moment, this is the sample. So if I do Control 1, don't worry about what I'm doing on the screen. The press 1 will look like this. These are display 1. If you remember, if I press 2, these are display proxy. So the proxy will show the original shape, which is the low polygonal, and including the preview of the smooth. So this is how it looks. If I press 3, it will be only smooth. And these are display smooth for OpenGL, which if you export this to the game engine, you're going to get that. You are not getting this. Okay? So, because even though the OpenGL can try to smooth the edge, if you remember last section, we talked about the polygon, vertex normal, the split. So we can make it become straight line, vertex normal, and the shape will look a little more smooth. Like, hold on, let me press 1. Here we go. See, like this. That's smooth. These are not because it's a solid edge. I could try to do something like soften edges, or can you see it look like this? So basically, it changed the, if you remember that, display. Don't worry about what I'm doing, okay? I just want to show you. So, see, right now, all the vertex normal are in straight line. If I go to harden edges, now they are split. So when it's split, everything looks like this, facet. So I can go back to soften again. Now it looks smooth. Okay. So now when you take a look at this, let me turn that off. So here we go. Okay. So when you do modeling with geometry, you have to figure it out what the basic shape you can start with. On this, I started with, you might think, oh, that must be sphere. Yes, you can start it with sphere too, but cylinder might be a little more easier. And when you start, you should start it with lower polygon as much as possible. Now, if you look at on some of these span, so right now just concept, talking about the concept, okay. This is a when we extrude in, we should have, it's called fencing, or you can call stop continuity. This will allow us, when we press 3, maintain bevel edge or hard edge. So now, if I press 1 again, can you see if you want the edge to be a little harsh angle, you need to add more subdivision to stop continuity. The continuity is the smooth continuity basically. Okay, so now with this section, let's say this is 16 span. This has only 6 span. So when you build it, you can actually start it from 12 or 16 and then divide and then remove until you get to 6 or 5. However, that's harder. What we can do is you can build separate object and put it on the top. And then you merge the vertices or you append the surface like what I showed from last section together, and then you just relay out topology. And the idea of this is you want it to be uniform, organized, and easy to control. Will make the surface looks much better. And if you see this section, there's a double line on it. This line is basically to stop continuity when we press 3. See? If I don't have that line, it's going to look like a circle. You will see it when we work on it. Okay? So, all right. Now, before we start, you need to have project directory. Okay? So, now, if last section we already created week 1 project. You can use that same project. Let's take a look at this quick. So, if you are going to use the project directory from last section, let me open up the lecture. See, I have the project 1 from last section. So in project 1, I have all of this. Inside the scene will be a Maya scene, and then source images, we're going to put the image of referencing so that we can do image plan. Okay, so now what you need to do is, if you are using the previous project, you open up Maya first. Never, I shouldn't say never, there's occasionally, sometimes you might want to double click the file. However, normally you will not. You will open up the project, the Maya application first, and then you go to File menu. Remember, this demo is is for the project that we already have. We're going to have to use Set Project, and then you navigate it to wherever the project that you wanted to work with. So the existing one, and then you just select that folder. You might need to double click. When you double click, make sure you don't select this. If you select some of the folder, Maya will try to set in that folder, and this you will get an error, not an error. It just said there's no workspace.mil. It asks you to select another location or create another one. You need to do select another location and then go back, highlight it, double click. But if it highlights like this on the sub folder, you need to click, go back, and just highlight it. The reason that I double click is because sometimes you do not know if you have the same name. Like for example, I have a week 1 and I also has another lecture. So sometimes you get confused, so you have to be able to identify if this is the right project folder or not. So normally when you double click twice, it will not select anything, but sometimes will. If it will, you go back up, and then you can actually just highlight and click set. So now I didn't get any error message. So it means I said it correct. And then when you go to File menu of Maya software, open, you will see all the files that you have. So now go ahead, set up the project. If you don't have the previous project that we did last section, what you need to do is you need to do File menu, Project window, and under Current Project, click New, Name. When I name, I like to name a leaf underscore project for so that I can identify this is the project folder, Maya project folder. There's Maya. Okay. And the location, you just click Browse and put it wherever you want it to save. So in my case right now it's on D drive, and I have folder called my name. You can create your own name, and then I have another subfolder I'm gonna put inside my this is how I organize it. So I click select. Now the path is really long list, but that's what it is. And then click accept. So now when you look at it, I have test Maya underscore project, and has all the subtool that I need. Okay, so at this point, we're going to prepare for doing image plane. So you need to put the images inside source images folder. Source images folder must contain, let me go back to source images, must contain all the bitmap that will be used inside Maya software. You can also save the image that will not be used in Maya software also. It just makes your project photo become bigger in space. And if you go up, there's an images folder. This images folder, Maya use it for saving your rendering. Different than source images. Source images, Maya use this to look up and display your texture map, image plane, and such. If you don't put the images inside the source images folder, when you copy the whole project folder, bring it to a different computer, when you open your file, you will see black color instead because Maya can't find your images inside source images folder. So what do we need inside there? These two images. So I'm going to right click, save link as, and then I go to my project D drive. I'm going to navigate into site source images folder. Let me try again. I go to D drive, read, subfolder. Here we go. And then source images folder. You will put it inside there. Second one also, save link as. Not saving image, because if you're saving image, you're going to save the thumbnail. Here we go. So now, when I come to Maya software, let me change my setting. Turn on grid. There we go. So if I'm going to put the image plane inside here, so let's say font, you go to View menu, Image plane, Import image. Hold on. Doesn't show up. Let me set again. Set the project. Oh, I create a new project, so it's pointing into the different project. Sorry, I forgot. So can you look at right here under Recent Project? At the current, I am on Test Maya project directory, which is not the one I wanted to use. I wanted to go back to my week 1 project. So I can shuffle on this list. And I think this list is add up to 10 lists. So now I can switch to the week 1 project. So now when I go to View, Image plane, Import image, I will see the image. So because Maya know exactly where to look at. We're not doing that yet. Okay, guys. So we're going to talk about the concept first, what we will be doing. So right here, So today I'm going to introduce you a booleans. Booleans is, will help us to do a little cut that can follow the contour. There are so many ways to build this shape like this. It's not one way at all. There are so many ways. So now, hey guys, today just right now just watch. If I press 3, can you see it look like this? The reason it look like this, I get the corner are sharp because when I press 1, can you see I have a stop continuity? Each corner, stop continuity. Now, if I turn this, delete it, don't worry about what I'm doing, okay? And I'm gonna press 3. Can you see now this started to have rounder contour. So I can do press 1 back. Let me delete this section again. See, it looked like this. It's just because you press 1 back. The top one has this stop continuity. Even though it has a big space, it's still trying to help to reduce the smoothness. But this section has none. So when I press 3, it looks like circle. So this is a trick. We can add multi-cut. There we go. Now it's more sharper. This one. Here we go. Okay, so let's do this together. I'm gonna Control N. Let's save this, seen as, and then you can call, I'm gonna call Combine Tech 01. Okay, so first you can maximize to full view. And I like you on each viewport. Hold on. Let's start create a cube. Just one cube. Make it really low. You can make the size a little larger. If you look at under on the channel box here, the top part is the highest hierarchy is translate node. And then you have a shape node. Shape node has an input node inside it. So if you highlight polycube, when you see a polycube with attribute right here, it indicates that these are primitive objects. The primitive object has some kind of preset so that we can kind of changing resolution of the geometry. On perspective view, if I press F, frame all, I can activate the other view, press F to frame all. There we go. Now can you deselect? When you deselect, you just see only smooth surface. Under shading, you have wireframe, you have smooth, shade all, and also you have wireframe unshaded. When you do sculpting, I think the wireframe unshaded, it helps a lot to identify the location of your wire. You can see a preview of the resolution. The resolution of the geometry is not how big and small. It's the geometry, is the component inside. So let's select this. And let's go to here. And I want you to, before we move on, under each window, change to smooth and shade all, turn on wireframe on shade. Shortcut is Alt plus 5. So if I can active, let's deselect, active this, Alt 5, Alt 5. So, and the shortcut on the viewport is this icon, right here. Wireframe on shade, shade all, wireframe only, wireframe on shade. Now, you can leave wireframe on shaded all. You don't need to turn on and off. You just switch wireframe and shade all. Okay, so now select. And let's take a look at relatively size is just only 1 unit square and sit it on the center of the workspace. Every time when you do model, when you create a new model, it will create on the center of the workspace. So now you can change width, height, and depth. And width is correspond to X, height is Y, Z is depth. So just remember, Maya has an order. The order is X first, Y second, Z third. And you can look at the correspond of the tripod on the viewport. Z, positive Z is the green or the blue color. Look at on the left side, the bottom left side. Indicate the font. Opposite sides of the direction of the arrow, it will indicate a negative. So you can say this is font and back. Y is up. Negative Y is down. Positive X is right. Negative X is left. However, Maya said negative left is right. So it's just a little weird. And okay, so now I can increase all of them at once by highlight. This is another technique to manipulate the volumes on an attribute editor. If you highlight the label, you can click and drag to highlight all three. And then you use middle mouse click on screen, you can enlarge. You can change the volumes. Make the volumes like a slider. So if you want to be precise, you can highlight all of them at once. Type 5 will be 5 units square unit. So now there's a subdivision also. So subdivision width is on X. Look like this. Go to the side. So I highlight with middle mouse. Okay. And then subdivision height is appear to be running through the horizontal, but it's go up. See, Y direction. Depth is X direction. So now at this point, we increase the topology. We increase the resolution. Now, before we move on, under display menu, heads up display, polygon. This is another important information we want. So you just check, now you see this. So at the moment, there are 4 columns on this. The first column is identify what type of component. You have verts or vertices, edges, faces, and triangle or trikes, UV information. And now, when you look at on the second column is the entire scene. How many topology you have, how many components you have. And second one is the selected object. Right now we have only one, right? So let's try this. Control D, duplicate it. Basically it's edit, duplicate. And then I'm gonna move it away. Here we go. Now can you see? The second column are higher than the third column because these are all of them together. This is what you have on your scene. And this is the selected object. So now if I select this one and let's reduce this. I'm going to put it back to 1 to 1. Here we go. So now can you see? It's reduced right away. This one higher, this one lower. Now, what about this part? The fourth column is indicate the component that you selected. So you select a vertices, you select edge, you select face. See, it's indicated. So if I hold shift to add, now it said, when I hold shift, I add, I become double click. I don't know how did I do that. So it become 3 edges. Sometimes when you select the component with your object, you need to press 4. 4 is shading, wireframe. The reason is so that you can see if you select on the back side of the face or not, on the back side. So sometimes you want it to extrude and then you extrude more than what you need. Okay, so now let's go back. You can right click and choose object mode. Press 5. I'm going to delete this guy. Now there's one thing now. This object, I still have input. Now, if I do edit, duplicate, the second object, Maya just duplicate the shape but doesn't duplicate the input. Most of the time you want that, but there will be some time that, well, I already changing the size, like one size are thicker, the other are longer. I don't want to do this again, but I want to be able to manipulate the segment with exactly same size here, or smaller but same component. What you could do is like you wanted to maintain the input polycube. That's what I meant. So you could do edit, duplicate spatial, open up option. So square box is the option. On the menu, if you see a triangle, is indicate there's a sub menu on it. So right here, what you can do is right here, duplicate input graph, because that's the input graph. So I'm gonna highlight it. When I duplicate, I'm gonna duplicate spatial, and then I move. Now can you see the second cube has those information? So it means I can change the cube to be, let's say I want like this. Here we go. So I want more section. So this one has face is 16 face. This has 6 face. So that's how you duplicate with spatial. So now I'm going to bring this back to 5. Okay. So this is what I want. Now, to add extend surface, there's a few things you can do. If you right-click and choose face, you grab that face. And for today, guys, this week, I'm going to try to use the main command. And next week, we're going to do shift right mouse click, okay? So that you know where the original command is. So I select that face, and then might be a good idea, guys, when you do extrude, using selection tool. Using selection tool. Now, under edit mesh, you click extrude. And can you see, edit mesh has a division or it's trying to categorize it. Like for example, these are component categorized. And on each component, this is mean you can use this with multiple components, like edge, face, and vertex. And then you have something like, and in flip and symmetry is it just apply to all components. But can you see there's a vertex command, edge command, face command, and then also have a curve. So this will help you a little bit, like, well, if I want to extrude or on my face, if I want to duplicate or do a little bit more like connecting to face and create a pivot point and things like that, you look at under face section. If something to do with vertex, you look at on the vertex section. If everything else is going to be right here. So right now we want extrude. Go ahead, extrude. And after you extrude, if you remember the Q verti, and the T is manipulator right there. Now, you already extruded. What if, can you try to do it again? To do like me. Click somewhere else, pretend that you forgot or you make a mistake. You did extrude though. Now right click and choose object mode. Look at on the channel box. Can you see under input, beside you have that primitive attribute, you have extrude face 1. It's already there. Now if you don't check this, you're going to get confused. You're going to think that, oh, okay, I did not extrude. Let's do it again. So face, and then you go to edit, extrude. Now you have to extrude. And this time you move. Let's pretend move. Let's move it. Here we go. So now you have to extrude. And on your channel box, it's going to look like this. Extrude 1 and then extrude 2. Now if I deselect it again, you can still access those history stack. Like for example, if I go select the object, And then when I look at, it has extrude phase 1 and 2. Now if I make sure, can you select the selection tool? Because I want to show you something. Highlight extrude phase 1. There's nothing, but you see attribute, right? And if you turn on move tool, you kind of see like, well, the move tool is still center pivot. It's not the location of your extrude phase 1. It's not when you turn on move tool. So the only way you can tell where the extrude 1 is, you need to use manipulator. So manipulator is normally will be right here. However, if you don't see it, you press T. T is manipulator. So there will be a time that manipulator icon doesn't appear right here. You need to press D. Now when you press D, Maya will send the pops-up window of the subcommand on that extruder. The reason is so that you can focus on small amount of attribute, then try to do right here, just for convenience. So now, one other thing, with the manipulator tool, you get a manipulator type tripod or modifier tripod. So now let's take a look at this. Right now, you see the switch. If the switch up goes straight lines indicated based on the normal of the geometry. If you think back about last section when we have a normal, display face normal, that's the direction. So now you have a translate, which is the arrow shape, and Z is blue, green is Y, X is red. Okay, you might curious about, wait a minute, what happened? Oops, let me select it again. There we go. So, okay, guys, if you deselect it, select the object. Make sure you go to object mode and highlight the section you wanted to modify. So now, if you look at on the tripod of the extruder are not lined up to the workspace, of course, because it's based on the face, the component face that extrude sit on. That's why it's not, because there's an object coordinate and workspace coordinate, and then you have custom too. So now, what I need to do is I wanted to extend. Don't do anything, guys. I want to show you one quick thing. If I switch to vertex faces, can you see that line in between? That is not a line, it's a face. There are phases, but because two edges of that face, I don't know if people from online can see my hand. So when you extrude without extended, it's basically you extrude and then just like this. So two edges lay on top of each other. And if you remember, it's called face with edge with zero length, because there's no length. So that will cause a problem when you do cut, when you do extrude. Like if you wanted to extrude two faces together here, it's going to cause a problem. So now, for now, we are not trying to fix, we just want to extend that. We are not trying to clean it up, we just want to modify it. So when you turn on Manipulator 2 again, let me go to object mode, make sure you turn it again. You can extend by moving up. Can you see? So it means you extend the space of this edge right on the corner, the vertical one. Extend it, okay? There will be a time that you cannot do this. You already went too far. You need to use clean up like last section. So let's pretend we're going to clean it up. I'm going to undo quick. Here we go. I'm going to just leave it there. Now you can switch to move to now, and selection tool. Now let's try this. You go to mesh, clean up, open up option. Remember, we're going to clean this. We want to get rid of that. And there's so many information here. Operation cleanup matching polygon. Let Maya do that for us. Okay. And you can actually select match polygon. If I click apply, it will show. Oops, sorry. Oh, I didn't select anything yet. Hold on. Let me try again. Hey guys, don't do it, okay? Okay. Don't do anything yet. You can open this cleanup, but I'm gonna switch to select match polygon. So it's match command, and I'm gonna tell select edge with zero length. I can't really see it because it's on top of each other. So this is a little tricky. So now if I do cleanup, let me check it again. Still there. Click cleanup. Let Maya does. Edges with zero length, apply. So now it's gone, and you see it's cleaned it up because it's zero length. Okay, I'm gonna close. Now let's do again together because you're gonna came across to this problem quite number of it if you are new. So now select match cleanup option. Let me reset quick. Cleanup matching polygon, so it means let Maya doing it. And then we look for edge with zero length and then apply. Now it's clean. Check vertex face. There's nothing inside there. That's good. Okay. So now that's how we extend it. So what if you want to be able to create a small cube on the center or a little off center? When you look at this face, we already extrude this, right? See, we have a extrude number 2. Here we go. Turn on manipulator, extrude number 2. Now, there's one thing. We already modified some history that before this calculation. So it may give us unwanted surface. Like for example, can you try this? You're gonna move that translate back to 0 like that. I just type it in because easier than try to manually move. Can you see numbers right there? And that numbers correspond to local translate right here. You will not want it to modify this. Most of the time you modify the local translate, rotate, and scale. I will explain it more, okay? So now let's put it to 0. Here we go. And if you look at under offset, right here, offset. So now the offset right here, but use this window. Can you put 0.1? See? It's offset trinket 0.1 unit. What about 1? Now, hey guys, there will be a time that when you delete something on the history, this time we got lucky, nothing happened. Sometime Maya just, sorry, something itched my nose. Sometimes Maya doesn't know what to do when some of the component that before this calculation has been modified. When I do a offset, it might create a some kind of a shooting vertices, something like that. If that happens, you can't do this. You're gonna have to either undo or remodify something else. So the best way is you save. For example, I should undo until I get back to those two extruder, and then I save, and then save as, and delete, and then modify it. So, because in this case, it means if something wrong, you can go back to the previous version. So it happens time to time. So now, let's do it a little more. How about 2? 1.5, 2 is too long. Here we go. So now what we are doing is we're doing fencing, or we're doing frame. So it has a multiple purpose. The purpose is to stop continuity. So basically, we do stop continuity. We don't want it to expand from this border or this fence. So now, if I do extrude again, extrude, oh, sorry, has to be on surface. So right click and choose face, and pick only that faces, that one face. And edit, extrude, and then now we can move only Y up. Here we go. Now, in this technique, it means the shape, they are uniform from the bottom and the top. So that's why we could do this easy way. And let's talk about the manipulator one more before we move to different object. So now, if I translate to y-axis, to x-axis, here we go. See, I could do like this. And I can also scale uniform or non-uniform. To scale non-uniform, you grab on the cube. Now, the scale z-axis, it does nothing because, can you see it's straight line there? There's nothing to scale. But if I scale on y-axis, because there's a space, x-axis has a space, but not z-axis. You can look at on the direction, can you see? If I look at straight up, there's single plane. So that's why you can't really scale, because there's nothing to scale. Here we go. So now I can undo quick. Go back. Here we go. And undo. Now, there's a rotation. So the rotation, you have to activate the blue disc, the crayon color here. When you click to activate it, you get 3 tripods. So you can rotate on X direction, Y direction, and Z direction. So undo. And now, what about this guy? At the moment, let's do this first. Rotate on X axis, just on X, so that it looks like this. And you see, when I rotate on X, these are the front view. Okay, now extrude one more time. Edit, extrude. Now, can you see by default translate based on the normal? So the normal of the face shooting this way, so you are able to extend like this. What about you don't want that? You want to go up straight line. You don't want to try to do like this, 1 and 2. That's too much work. So you change the switch to a world space. These are normal space. When you click, it's lined up to the world space. So you will see the switch, it turned to the right side. Now you can move straight line. You can move straight line. Okay. So I'm going to undo, switch back, and then now I can move this way. You see that? Okay. All right. So now, let's go to object mode. Press 3. Will look like this. Let's play a little bit. We're going to try to stop continuity. I want that to be flat looking. So we're going to press 1 back. So now, under Mesh Tool, there's a multi-cut. Multi-cut and insert edge loop. Now the insert edge loop, let's open up option quick. Let's reset. So it said maintain position relative distance from edge. It's based on where you click. So basically, that's what it means. And then the number of the edge loop by default is set to 1, even though you see number, but default is 1. Auto completes and make sure fix quads. So that is loop around. If it doesn't loop around, you can have end gone in some particular part. So now, and then you just move your cursor over the edge, click and hold and drag to try to locate where you want it. And then let's just locate right here, a little far. Press 3. I am still on the edge loop. That's why you see the proxy, because it's want to show you that, okay, this is how you're gonna do it. That's what you want. If you click it again, can you see you can locate it? So now, see, it's getting sharper. I'm gonna undo. Now, what about, let's go back, press enter to complete. If it doesn't get rid of, go back to 1. And then, now, press 1, go back to selection. Now, what if you've done all of this, You come back tomorrow, and you may delete history already. You don't have any, you can't really edit this split. I mean, there are some part that you can do, but a lot of times you're going to have a hard time to changing the direction. So what you can do is you can slide edge. You can move that edge. Now, if you right click to the edge, double click on it, and if you turn on move to, there's no way you can slide through that trajectory. There's a tool for that. So the tool is this. You can go right click and choose edge, and then you go to edit match, look at under edge, slide edge to spinning flip. Where does it go? Oh, sorry, it changed the menu, my bad. Under Mesh Tool and Slide Edge, right there. And then it said drag with middle mouse to slide. But we want a whole loop. Do you guys remember how to select the whole loop? Anybody? How do you select the whole loop on edges?
Do you double left click?
That's it. You can double click, and then now you select the whole thing. And remember, it said use middle mouse to drag. Can you see right here is indicate what tool you are or what command you are at. So you do middle mouse and slide. So now let's take a look at press 5 and press 3. When you slide, you can see the change right away. But be careful when you are on 3. On 3 is display a preview of smooth. When you move to the, like I move all the way. Now can you press 1? See, it's right on top of each other. And this will cause another problem. It's going to cause a edge with 0 length, right? So what you need to do is switch to 1 and then slide it. Oops, I slide too far. I'm going to have to undo, guys. Oh. Here we go. Have to undo. So you kind of in between, you press 3 and then press 1 back and then slide. And then don't slide it all the way, just like close and then press 3. That's good enough. Okay. Now, what if you want more sharper? Press 1. You can add right here. To add the extra face, extra edges and face, you select the face and choose edit mask, extrude, but don't move it, just offset it. I can offset to 0.1. Can you see? Now, once again, we use this technique for stop continuity of fencing. So now when you press 3, oops, sorry, my bad. Here we go. Make sure you go to object mode and press 3. Can you see more sharper? So now press 1 back. You can actually reduce. If you double click on that edge loop and press 3 again, it looks like this, right? And go to mesh to slide edge 2 and then try to slide so that you can see, like if you want a little bevel, curved bevel on the edge, you slide it out. Change the distance. So that's it. See, if I change to here, press 3, down, look like this. So this technique we're going to use a lot to accomplish what we how the surface will be look like. So once again, you can play around a little bit. Go to 1 and use a mesh tool, insert a loop, and then I can click. Now press 3, look like this. I'm still on insert edge looped. So if I want this section to be sharp, I click on existing line, and you might have to switch to 1 because sometimes you don't want it to be overlap, and then you can start it to slide. Go to edit, slide, and double click. Come on, here we go. Okay, now it look like this. Okay, so save this and go to object mode. I'm going to press 1 and I'm going to move these around. Oh, you can press 3. I'm going to move these around. Look at on front view first. Tumble your scene until you see the positive Z direction. Don't focus on this move tripod because sometimes you might change to object mode. Focus on the lower right left corner, the tripod. Z, positive Z is front and positive X is top. So move it away. Now create a new cube. You can scale or you can use this width and height. Just do it only and leave it 1. Okay. Now I want you to, we're going to create a shape like this. Similar. We're going to practice. Can you see 6 polygon? And the other one is 5. So 6. So we're going to use cylinder. And I'm going to move it out. And on the cylinder, guys, because I did not move the cube from the center. So when you create another object, they will be lining up on the center of the workspace exactly correctly. So, and under cylinder, we're going to change the subdivision axis to 6. So it will look like this. And the resolution cap and height, the height is this. We don't need any. The cap is just only 1. That's good enough. So now, if I want to connect this like this, right? You kind of wanted to matching the number of the polygon as much as you possible. So at this moment, this has only 4 corners. This has 6 corners. Okay. So what we can do is some of the model we could have triangle if that triangle are not on the location that will produce curve, because quad will create a more curved shape better than triangle. But there's exceptional, like in this section. For example, if you remember when we combine, so if I delete the face in between here, because we're going to combine them later. Here we go. And then I select this face, delete. Okay, go ahead, delete those 2 faces, 2 sections. So that's a 6 triangle. This is 1 quad. Okay, so now if I right click, if I select this object, go to side view or top view, I'm gonna eyeballing it. Try to make the edge close to each other. So, and you can combine these 2 together by select all of them, edit mesh, combine. Here you go. Now, there are a single object with 2 elements, right? When you look at it, if I right click and choose face, if I double click on one section, we'll select the whole element. Can you see? So this indicates that a 2 element inside the 1 object. Now, we need to make them become 1. Whenever you combine 2 or 3 or 4 different objects, it has to be 1 element. And most of the time we do that because we're building a complex shape that is hard to try to start it with only one certain topology. That's why we do this way. So now, after you combine, you need to connect them. So if you remember, go to object mode. You can fill up this up manually by using match to append. So now when you click append, Maya will highlight the border to show a thicker edge. If you press 4, can you see the thicker edge? That's the border. So I'm going to press 5. Now when you started to click, I'm going to click the small one because small one has more geometry. And then these are indicating, look, you wanted to figure it out that the direction that can connect, like for example, when I click like this, it's connect that way. So if you backspace to redo it, and then you click this way, it goes like that. So now how do you make decision? You wanted to create a kind of uniform as much as possible. And in this case, you will have to sacrifice a triangle because quad, it doesn't look good. This is called almost a arrow shape or inverse concave diamond shape, which is not good. It still works, but it's not perfect. So I'm going to backspace, try this way. This way it looks kind of not concave in, still straight line, look like a triangle. It seems acceptable, so I'm going to say yes. So when you press enter, you execute it and switch off to manipulator tool or selection tool. To access this again, you have two places. Under tool, under manipulator, this is right here. So these are become a last command instead of manipulator. So, and now you can click to active, or you can just go to match to append. So now click it again on that edge, and this time, if I go like this, can you see it doesn't look good because it's created a concave. I don't want concave. If it's straight line, it's okay, like triangle. So now what I can do is I can click with this arrow. Here we go. So now this one becomes triangle. Now, instead of press enter to execute and switch the tool, I want you to press Y. Y is execute and repeat command. Here we go. So it means I don't have to go here to click there or go to main command, main menu again. So now continue to do it and test by clicking. This is perfect. This is full corner. So press Y to repeat. Do it again, and I'm gonna make sure when you click, can you see, you can do like this too. Now I'm gonna do like that because I seem like I can synchronize with this area. Can you see? I want it to be a little more uniform. Now pretend if you wanted to experiment, you can start it to click and look, see if it's okay. If it's not, actually this one is also okay. Can you see? Because it's straight line, it's not concave in. But like I said, if I click this way, it's more uniform to this side. I want it to synchronize it. So I think this looks better. Press Y and do the next one. Click here, and there. Here we go. And it looks like triangle, not concave, so which is fine. Press Y again. And the last one is full corner, so you can click the opposite side right away. So now it looks like this. It's not perfect, but it's uniform. However, if you really want it to be more uniform, it's already full corner and 3 corner. So in this section, if you look at on the straight, we don't want any curve to produce. So it's okay to have all triangle. Now, if you go to edit, match to multi-cut, and I can do like this. When you do multi-cut, I want it to uniform this triangle, so I want this side to be triangle too. You start off with this. Now, when you move your cursor, can you see Maya's try to indicate that, okay, that's the vertex that you need to connect. Now you can move, can you see? So that's the direction. So now the easy way to start it to line up your cut, you click and hold on existing edge. Drag until it stops to the corner. Now you will ensure that you cut right that corner. Otherwise, you're going to have a 5 or n-gone surface. And then you click on existing edge and then drag until stop. You can press enter to execute, and now multi-cut tool does not go away. So that's good. So now you do it again on this side. And there. Here we go. Look like this. Okay. So now you get this shape, and if you press 3, you can modify them, and then now when you press 3, can you see? This could be not a problem, but it will not give you more flexibility. Try to control the corner of the side because triangles already stop a lot of continuity already. Now, how can we fix this? So you have to come up with the plan. It's called fencing again. So like this one doesn't have fencing on here too. There's no stop continuity, but because it's quad, so that looks good. And with quad, let's go back to this shape. Save again, guys. With this quad, you can add stop continuity really easy by go to edit, match to insert edge loop. Now when I click on it, can you see? Because it's full corner, edge loop will run around it and then loop it back. So now you create a fencing. If I press 3, this section will be really hard, really sharp. Can you see? And now with this object, if you try match to insert edge loop, that's it. You can't. The reason is because it's triangle. When it's triangle, the loop cannot run around. It needs to run on quad only. So this is what you get. And then this is still correct geometry on these two, except for that. Oh no, they're still correct because if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, as long as it's count to full corner, it's correct. So undo. Now, I don't want that at all. So I want it to be able to have a fencing on this section. Now, what can you do that though? So first, I am not going to remove, we can fix this really easy, but let's create a new one so that, like you're making a plan, pretend that we are making a plan. Okay, let's do it again one more. Save this file and then save as, just in case something wrong on that. Something wrong later. I'm going to put number 2, save. So now create a cube again. I'm going to make it bigger. Here we go. And we already know that we're going to connect them, so delete this section. Okay. And then we're going to create a cylinder. Move a little bit. Change to 6i. And we already know that we're going to combine them, so delete the face on the bottom. I'm going to use selection tool because it's quicker. Here we go. And reposition it. I press F to frame selection, switch to 4 so that you can see the line. Now, in the future, we can fix if they are not lined up. Let's do that. Let's so that you know how to fix it. Can you just make these a little deeper or higher? Just a little bit deeper or higher. Doesn't matter how. Okay. So doesn't matter it's deep or high. Okay. So now combine these two together. Oops, sorry, I'm gonna use shortcut again. Mesh, combine. Now, before we use append to polygon tool, we need to do this. Select all the edge, loop. We're gonna extrude it. So edit mesh, extrude, and then you're gonna switch because we wanted all the edge. Right now, can you see the shape line up to the workspace? So if you push on Z direction, it will look like this, which is good. But there will be a time, guys, that your objects are not lined up in straight line to the workspace. What you need to do is you need to switch this to workspace. Can you see it look like that? And then you activate the cube so that you see the center of the cube because you wanted to scale them in a two-plane direction. Can you see it like this? So we create a fencing a little bit. Let it go really close. Not too close for this time. Let's make it really close. Here we go. So now we can start it to do operation of append. So go to object mode, match to append. So now when you look at on this, you could start it to do like one, oh, wrong, do it again, same thing. I can go, oh, hold on. Let me backspace again. I think I should start it from here. Up, right there, okay. So, oh, sorry, I forgot. This time is you're gonna get a concave because it's so narrow compared to that. That's okay. So just press Y and keep going, and then we're gonna fix it manually later. And I just select oh, this one go all the way. It's just because of when it's, here we go. When it's closer, the shape will look slightly different. Almost done. Okay, so now when you look at on the top, we have to relay out so that it looks better. So now can you see these lines are coming this way? I can do cut, multi-cut. So I'm gonna cut that because it's concave. We want it to be triangle or quad as much as possible. Now this one is good. That one does not. Okay, so click, drag until it stops. Here we go. So now I'm done. They all look uniform. Can you see? So now, can you see now it's different level? Because if you remember, we did this. How can we fix this? It's really easy. If you right click and choose all the vertices and region drag like this, and then when you look at this section, now if you turn on scale 2, let's take a look at here and there. So we look at on 3 view. So I switch to wireframe so that I can see. You can scale on y-axis because that's the direction we want to squeeze them in. Now when you scale all the way, they become a one single plane. This technique basically scale, when you scale the component, let's take a look at this. You are actually moving the vertices in the direction of that tripod together. This is the center. So basically they meet at the center. So the scale technique with the component is basically is moving in multiple volumes like negative and positive. So this will allow you to fix unplane surface. So now this section, if you press 3, you got that straight corner right away. Can you see? And then now I can go to 1, insert insert edge loop. So I can click here, and can you see if I click inside there, I got a really nice quad loop. And also I can loop right here too. So press 3. There we go. And then I'm gonna be on Q. So can you see now you get a really nice loop, and you can control the surface better. And if you remember, if I press 3 on this, can you see which one has better control? Because I mean, when you have a triangle, you kind of want to hide the triangle, make the triangle space to be a little smaller. Okay. So, and now on the top part, it's the same similar things when we create. Now what if I decided to make this size a little bigger? You can select vertices, and I'm gonna select all the vertices here, like on the center, and subtract. Thing I don't need. To subtract, control select. And can you see? I have the bottom. You need to switch to 4 so that you can see. Now, what if I want to expand it? because it's too small. So you go to top view, turn on scale 2, and now you don't want to scale 3 axes. You want it to scale only Z and X. Now to do that, can you see this plane? The green plane is mean you disable the y-axis, and then you scale only in y-plane, which is Z and X. So now I can make it bigger. There we go. If I press 3, it will look like this. A little thicker. Okay. So now how about the 5 corner thing? Press 1. The 5 corner. So we're going to create a cylinder. Move. And then I'm going to press 5. It looked like this. And I'm going to just scale this time. Scale it. So, oh my gosh. More than 1 hour already. Okay, so now let me move up a little bit because I can't see on the bottom. Okay. And I'm going to delete that surface. So now let's take a look at this. These, if you delete it right away, you're going to have to do like what we just did, right? So now there's a technique. If you are using a insert edge loop, you can't. Can you see? Because it's triangle. It won't be able to insert edge loop at all. It looks like you just split. So there's a technique. If you select these phases, 6 phases, and then you use extrude, so edit extrude phase, now you offset it. Yep. So 2, here we go. Can you see you change, you extend the border, you create fencing, okay? So now, I think it's too much. Let's do 1. Oh, no, it's too low, sorry. Let's do 4. Nope, 3. Oh no, 2.2, 1, 2.2, 2.3. Here we go. We just want a little bit to stop continuity. See, we create a fencing again. And then now I can delete the surface. Here we go. Oh, hey guys, hold on. I extrude something else. Let me do it again. Extrude phase. I have double. Here we go. And then somehow I had double. Now it's correct. Hey, something happening. Hold on. One moment. I think along the way I create a extra face inside there. Can you see? Right there. So, see that? I think when I do, yep, when I do cut, or when I do append, that caused me that. I probably double select and double append on some surface. That's why I caused that. Let me append this back. Sorry guys, these are fixing. If you have the same problem, I don't think you do if I just make a mistake. There we go. So now it should be good. So I'm going to delete that phase. There we go.
How did you scale the cylinder out again? I'm sorry, I know it's been a second.
No.
I was
Can
trying
you
to
say it
follow
again?
along. How did you scale the cylinder out again? The first one right there that you were hovering over?
You mean this one, right?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
know that
no, that's
happened a
fine.
second ago. It's just...
So basically, let me undo. This is what I did. So you select these phases, and then you do extrude, and then you offset it. If I do 1, 2, and then you delete the surface. Now, I really have something on there. So, hey guys, how about, oops, I think if there's a problem with this, continue to have it, might be a good idea not to do fencing, no, not to do extrude. You just delete the whole face, double click on edge, just do like what we did on the on the bottom. Sorry, I don't know why it caused that. I might have to delete all of this soon. So I do extrude, and then you switch to workspace, and then you activate the cube, and then scale all the surface in that plane. Okay, so I think this might be easier, guys, than just we're going to use that technique a lot, the extrude and offset, but somehow on this I do not know what caused that. It could be the stack. So now, can you see that stack? It's time to delete history. I think that because of that stack caused me, what Maya did is, let me undo quick. I do select. Here we go. With this stack, Maya will have to calculate from the bottom and go up, 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 up. So sometime when delete history, when we delete some component, Maya will not know what to do in some case. So in this case, you have to clean these up a lot. So now, what if you feel like, hey, just in case I want to keep that extrude 6, you know, like number 6, or I want to keep extrude 2, just in case I need to change something. So what you can do though, you save this file without delete history, and then you save scene as, and then you call different name. So I'm going to do number 3 now. And then on number 3, you can delete history. So, and then if you change your mind, like, oh, I want to go back to the extrude number 6 to modify some shape, you go back to the second one, and then save override this. So now, we get to this point again, we're going to move this down. Okay. And we're going to press F again. So, line up. I mean, like I said, if you don't line up, you can scale them later too. So now, in this, let's take a look at, I'm going to rotate to make them a little more uniform. Can you see? So I think I'm going to do -90. Here we go. So I rotate first and then started to change the volumes here. Now, it looked like this. I think that's a good shape, and then I can see, I can have a visual a little bit like this section can be 4 corner, this can be 4 corner, this can be 4 corner, and this can be 3 corner. So combine them. Oops, sorry. Match, combine. Once again, guys, this week just try to use the menu command. Next week we will do a lot of shortcut. So now, append to polygon, and then here we go. I look for the quad first. 1, that can be quad. Press Y. Now this section can be quad too. Here we go. Press Y. And when I do is I do center, left and right, and then go to center if needed. Here we go. So now, right here, these can be quad, right? So I can press Y. You kind of, you look at on quad first, and then triangle is whoop, whoop. Make sure you really click on the edge. Backspace to go back, and you can do like this. Here we go. So now you get quad and triangle, which actually is okay. Can you see it has angle a little bit, looks like a little skewer, what do you call that? Skewer, oh, rectangle, yeah, skewer rectangle. Now, what if I cut, sorry, if I cut, I want this to be 3 corner. See if it's a little better. Well, it's not really, but this is another thing you can do. So now you have more triangle, which is okay, and because these are not going to be a what do you call curve? It's flat line, so this is okay. And now in this case, what if we want to hide that? If I press 3, can you see they're so big, the triangle space there? You can double click on this loop. If it doesn't go, hold shift and add, and then you turn on scale, but do not scale uniform. You scale only on Y plane, which is disable the Y axis, and scale only X and Z. And now when you scale it up, you don't want to go too close. I mean, they have to have a space. You don't want to overlap them. Now press 3, it look like this. Here we go. Then press 1, and now we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to stop continuity again using a mesh tool and insert it loop. Press 3, press 1 back. Press 3, here we go. It's 1 back. What about this section? There we go. Now I'm going to go to object mode, press 3. Here we go. So look like this. And that, I'm sorry guys, I can't go faster than this. So, and that will help you to build a basic form of the cap. That's the idea. And then we're going to do the detail. So today though, I'd like you to, we have only 30 minutes left. Can you just finish this and do a screen cap? So we're going to delay the, well, we delay the cap. The cap, let's do it on Monday, okay? So your homework, your homework is this. You need to take a snapshot, turn off the grid, make sure you turn on, can you do this? Duplicate. And these 3 will be 1. I want you to screen capture like this and post it on the D2L. So, you can do like that. And to do screen capture, you just do snipping tool. Now, if you use Macintosh, I do not know what it is. I think it's a screen cap command or something. So now, deselect, make sure you turn on wireframe on shade right here. Smooth and shade all, wireframe on shade. The first set is 1, display 1. The second set is display 3, sorry. Here we go. So make sure I can see your line like this. You can do screen capture more than 1. Like for example, let's do this one. I think we should do more. So now you click new, and then reach and drag, snapshot, you save, and I'm gonna call modeling lecture progress image. Okay, and then I'm gonna call a concept 01. Okay, so now you can come close up a little bit. Just on 1. I don't think you need to, but if you want, you can. If you want to show off a little bit. So, because I think I should be able to see it. Not, yeah. Okay. So if you practice on this, you will have less stress when you try to build the shape. And this technique will be a foundation for you to build all of this to the bottom too. Okay. So, and Next section we will do more complex. We're going to basically build this shape, use the same technique, and then there's a certain technique that need to be added on here. So we're going to do a little Boolean on this section because if you look at, okay, let me save this quick, and let me open the demo one. On this section, right there, we have to use Boolean because they are a little angle. They are not straight line flat. Can you see right here? It has a little angle, so we're going to use Boolean. Now, if they are straight line flat, you don't have to use Boolean at all. You could just do like fencing technique, like you select this, extrude face, sorry, just ignore what I use shortcut for. And then I'm going to do 0.2. Oops, that's too much. 0.1. Here we go. 0.15. Nope, too much. 0.1. Come on. 0.05. How about, yes, 0.05. Can you see? And then I can extrude again. And then I can push in. So, I mean, there's a lot of way to do it. Okay, so, all right. So that's it for today. And let me check roll, and then you all feel free to try to finish this. And I'm gonna, let me go to submission. This will be due on Monday, okay? So in class submission. So we have fire hydrant. We have to skip that for a moment. Fire hydrant will be week 2 instead. So I'm gonna create a new discussion, and in class EX01 concept combining oh, I'm spelling incorrect. Okay, so I will put example of what you need to do. Okay, so, and you will need to submit by Monday, 25th by 2:30. Okay, so that will be your first submission. Let me move that. Where is it?
Hey there.
Hi.
Sorry to bug you.
Yes.
Marty Fitzgerald, is he around?
Molly, I thought he's in his office downstairs.
Okay.
Did you check?
I didn't.
Oh, so you go down to the door office, and then there's small door for faculty office. You go in. He's on the far right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Sorry guys, I have so many lists on there.
So it is okay to take this home and work on it some more?
Yes, definitely. Like you have time until Monday to submit it. And hey guys, I really want you to do this, because if you don't do it, you're gonna get lost more and more in the future. So just try to do it. Come on.
I was just wanting to fix mine up a little bit more before I turn it in.
That's perfectly fine. Hold on. I think I gotta be I can't collapse this. Hold on, I have a little problem to move them up. So, come on. Let me move up. Oh wait, I can do reorder. I'm still learning how to use the D to L. Here we go. Come on. Move up. Here we go. All right, guys. So now, and this one will be. Let me change the due date. This one will be due. 25 will be due Friday, and we will do together on the cap. So that will be week 2 exercise. Okay. All right, that's it. So let me check roll, and I'm gonna stop recording. I should have stopped.